The lobby of Vanguard Tower sparkled like a crystal palace in the early morning light. Polished marble floors, gold-trimmed elevator doors, and an aroma of expensive coffee drifting from the executive cafe. For most people, it was just another corporate building. For Ethan Ward, it was a battlefield. Every morning at 5 a.m., before the city woke, he pushed his squeaky janitor's cart through those towering glass doors. His hands were rough from bleach, his knees stiff from years of bending, scrubbing, and mopping. But his eyes, they still carried a quiet fire. He wasn't here for prestige or to climb the corporate ladder. He was here for Lily, his 8-year-old daughter who still believed her daddy was the strongest man in the world. Her medical treatments weren't cheap. Every shift meant one more step toward keeping her alive and smiling. Ethan never complained. But the walls of Vanguard Towers had a way of making a man feel invisible. That morning, while buffing the floors outside the executive boardroom, he heard hurried footsteps. He looked up to see Claire Donovan, the CEO herself. The tabloids called her the Ice Queen of Wall Street, flawless in a charcoal power suit, heels clicking like a metronome, eyes sharper than the edge of a glass shard. She rarely noticed anyone below the VP level. But this time, she stopped. Her gaze locked on him with an urgency that made his pulse jump. "You," she said. Ethan straightened, unsure if he was in trouble. "Ma'am." She took a breath, her tone low but steady. "Pretend you love me. For 10 minutes." Ethan blinked. "I'm sorry. I need you to look at me like I'm your world," she said, stepping closer. "Smile at me. Laugh with me. Hold my hand if you have to. Just, pretend. Please." There was something in her eyes, not the cold steel the world saw, but a flicker of desperation. Before he could reply, the elevator chimed and a group of sharply dressed men and women stepped out, led by a silver-haired man in a tailored navy suit. Claire leaned toward Ethan, her voice barely a whisper. "That's Martin Caldwell. My ex-fiancé. He's here with the board, and his new wife." Ethan's stomach tightened. So that was it. "You want me to?" "Yes," she cut in. "Save me from looking alone." For reasons he couldn't quite explain, Ethan nodded. "All right. I'm in." Claire looped her arm through his as naturally as if they'd done it for years. The faint scent of jasmine perfume reached him as she leaned into his shoulder. "Darling," she said with a warm smile that felt almost real. Ethan caught on quickly, giving a quiet chuckle and brushing a thumb over her knuckles like a man who'd done it 1,000 times. Caldwell slowed his stride, clearly taken aback. "Well, Claire," he said with a smirk that didn't reach his eyes. "I see you've moved on." "I have," she replied smoothly, tightening her grip on Ethan's arm. "Ethan, meet Martin." Ethan extended a hand. "Nice to meet you." His voice was calm, grounded, the voice of a man who wasn't intimidated by suits or money. For the next 10 minutes, Ethan played his part with an ease that shocked even himself. He listened as Claire laughed at his made-up stories, felt her lean into him when Caldwell's wife glanced their way, and even kissed her temple once, an instinctive gesture that made her eyes flicker with something unreadable. When Caldwell and his entourage finally walked away, Claire let go of Ethan's arm, exhaling as if she'd been holding her breath for days. "You're good at this," she murmured. He shrugged, pushing his cart toward the janitor's closet. "You said 10 minutes. But as he turned away, her voice followed him. "You saved me from looking small today. Thank you." He didn't reply, but something about the way she said it stayed with him all day. The next morning, she found him again. This time, she didn't need a fake boyfriend. She just wanted to talk. And it happened again the day after that. And the day after. He learned that behind her steel facade was a woman who'd been raised in a ruthless family where love was transactional and vulnerability was punished. She learned that he was a widower, still carrying the echo of his wife's laughter, raising a daughter who lit up his whole world. Somewhere between morning coffee breaks and late-night building lockups, the line between pretending and feeling blurred. Then came the day she found out about Lily. Ethan never intended to tell her. But one evening, she caught him on the phone, his voice trembling as he tried to negotiate with the hospital about an overdue bill. When he hung up, she stood there quietly. "How much?" He shook his head. "I'm not taking your money." "It's not charity," she said softly. "It's what people do when they care." He didn't answer. But the next day, an anonymous payment cleared Lily's medical debt. He knew it was her. Months later, Ethan was cleaning the lobby when Claire walked in from a press conference. She was supposed to be celebrating the launch of a billion-dollar merger, but instead, she walked straight toward him. "Remember when I asked you to pretend you loved me for 10 minutes, she asked. He smiled faintly. "Yeah." Her eyes glistened. "I don't want to pretend anymore." They stood there, surrounded by the hum of the city, the marble floors, the distant chatter of the corporate world, and for once, it didn't matter who was the CEO and who was the janitor. It was just two people who had found, against all odds, something real. And for Ethan Ward, that was worth more than any paycheck, any title, or any skyscraper. Because love, the kind that sees you, saves you, and stays with you, that was priceless.